5 Stoic habits that make you mentally strong every day. What does it mean to be mentally strong in today's world? We live in a time of constant distractions, endless notifications, financial uncertainty, and pressure from society to always do more, earn more, and be more. Stress is at an all-time high. Anxiety is everywhere. People break down over the smallest setbacks, but imagine if you could remain calm through chaos. Imagine if you could stay steady when life throws curveballs. Imagine having an inner fortress of peace that no insult, no failure, no loss could ever destroy. That's exactly what the Stoics trained themselves to do 2,000 years ago. And their wisdom is more relevant now than ever. This video is not about theory. It's about 5 Stoic habits you can practice daily to build unshakable mental strength. Habits that transform stress into resilience, fear into courage, and weakness into power. By the end, you'll not only know these habits, you'll be able to apply them in your daily life immediately. Before we dive in, let's be clear. Stoicism is not about being emotionless or cold. It's about building emotional resilience and mental clarity. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, Seneca, a philosopher and statesman, and Epictetus, a former slave-turned-teacher, all lived vastly different lives. But they shared one truth: you cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond. That's the foundation of Stoicism, and that's what makes these 5 habits so powerful. Habit 1: morning reflection. Why morning reflection? Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, began his days not with battle strategies or political meetings, but with self-reflection. In his private writings, meditations, he often reminded himself, "Today you will meet people who are selfish, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and rude. They do these things because they don't know good from evil. But I will not be harmed by them, for we are made for cooperation." Think about that. The most powerful man in the world began his day by preparing his mind, not for comfort, but for challenges. Why? Because when your mind is prepared, nothing can break you. How to practice. Morning reflection. Modern application. Here's how you can apply morning reflection in your own life. Don't start with your phone. Instead of scrolling, give yourself 5 or 10 minutes of quiet thought. Ask yourself 3 questions. What challenges might I face today? How do I want to respond to them? What values will guide my decisions? Write it down. Journaling your answers turns thoughts into action. Example: challenge: I might face a rude customer at work. Response: I will remain calm and not take it personally. Guiding value: patience. This simple ritual is like putting on armor before entering battle. It makes your mind ready for anything. Real-life example: the busy parent. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're a parent. You wake up, get the kids ready for school, and you already feel stress building. If you rush without preparation, one small tantrum can ruin your morning. But if you've practiced morning reflection, you've already told yourself, "My child might resist getting dressed. I will stay calm because anger won't help." Suddenly, you're not reactive. You're in control. That's mental strength in daily life. The science behind it, modern psychology, backs this up. Studies show that morning routines shape emotional regulation. When you start with calm reflection instead of reactivity, your brain is more resilient throughout the day. In essence, the Stoics were practicing what today we'd call cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a proven method for reducing stress and anxiety. Morning reflection arms you with mental clarity. But what about resilience in the face of discomfort? That's where the second Stoic habit comes in. Habit 2: practicing voluntary discomfort. Why voluntary discomfort builds mental strength. The second Stoic habit is one of the most powerful, yet most overlooked: voluntary discomfort. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, didn't live a life of luxury. Even though he was wealthy, he sometimes slept on the floor, wore simple clothes, and skipped meals. Why? Not because he had to, but because he wanted to train his mind to endure hardship. Epictetus, a former slave, also taught the importance of voluntary hardship. He said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." By choosing discomfort voluntarily, you condition your mind to remain calm and focused when discomfort is forced upon you, be it financial struggles, personal loss, or stressful work environments. The psychology behind it, modern neuroscience explains why this works. Exposure to small, controlled stresses like cold showers, fasting, or challenging workouts trains your nervous system. You develop emotional resilience. You learn not to overreact to minor stresses. Self-discipline. You strengthen willpower by facing challenges deliberately. Gratitude. Experiencing scarcity or discomfort helps you appreciate comfort more. Essentially, voluntary discomfort rewires your brain for mental toughness, the same skill that high performers and elite athletes cultivate. How to practice voluntary discomfort. Today, you don't need to live like a Roman emperor to practice this habit. Here are practical ways to integrate voluntary discomfort into your modern life. Cold showers. Start with 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your shower. Gradually increase the time. Intermittent fasting. Skip a meal once or twice a week. It strengthens self-control. Exercise beyond comfort. Push yourself one more rep, run one more mile, lift slightly heavier weights. Digital detox. Turn off your phone, social media, or entertainment for a set time. Sleep adjustment. Try waking up earlier than usual or sleeping without electronics. Even small steps matter. Each time you face discomfort intentionally, your mental strength grows. Modern example, the entrepreneur. Take the example of a startup founder. The entrepreneur faces rejection daily from investors, clients, or partners. Now imagine two founders. Founder A avoids discomfort. Every rejection shakes their confidence. One failed pitch ruins their day. Founder B embraces voluntary discomfort. They've practiced cold showers, long work days, and tight budgets. When rejection hits, they stay calm, adapt, and keep moving forward. Guess who succeeds? Founder B every time. That's the Stoic principle in action. Modern example, the busy professional. Even in everyday jobs, voluntary discomfort is valuable. Taking on a challenging project outside your comfort zone. Speaking in front of a group even if it scares you. Asking for a raise despite fear of rejection. These small discomforts build resilience. So bigger challenges like layoffs, market crashes, or personal crises don't break you. Practical exercise, daily Stoic challenge. Here's a 7-day Stoic discomfort challenge you can start immediately. Day 1, take a cold shower for 30 seconds. Day 2, skip breakfast. Notice how your mind reacts. Day 3, walk or bike to work instead of driving. Day 4, do an extra 10 push-ups or sit-ups beyond your normal routine. Day 5, spend 1 hour without your phone. Day 6, volunteer to speak in a meeting or present an idea. Day 7, reflect on your week. Journal about discomfort you faced and how it strengthened you. These exercises may feel small, but consistency builds real mental resilience over time. Storytelling, ancient wisdom in daily life. Seneca once wrote to his friend Lucilius, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it on comfort and fear." Train yourself in hardship. Make it your habit to endure what others flee from. That is true freedom. Today, most people flee from minor discomforts, the early alarm, an uncomfortable conversation, or a challenging project. The Stoics teach us that freedom and mental strength come from embracing what others avoid. Psychological benefits, reduced anxiety. When your mind knows discomfort is temporary, stress loses its power. Increased confidence. You prove to yourself daily that you can endure challenges. Greater gratitude. You notice the simple pleasures of comfort, food, warmth, and safety. Voluntary discomfort is a powerful tool, but it's only part of the Stoic formula. True mental strength also requires accepting what you cannot control. That's our third habit, and it's the one that can free you from unnecessary stress and worry in your daily life. Habit 3. control what you can, accept what you cannot. The third Stoic habit is perhaps the most powerful. Focus only on what you can control and accept what you cannot. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, wrote, "Some things are up to us and some things are not. It is only within our control to manage our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Everything else, fortune, other people, outcomes, lies beyond our power." Understanding this principle is life-changing. Much of human stress comes from trying to control the uncontrollable, a traffic jam, someone's opinion, or the economy. The modern relevance, imagine this. You send an important email to a client and they don't respond. You feel anxious, frustrated, maybe even panic. But in reality, you cannot control when or even if they respond. The only thing you can control is how you react. You can choose patience, follow up politely, or focus on other tasks. This mindset eliminates unnecessary worry and frees your mind to act where it truly matters. How to apply this habit daily? Here's a simple exercise called the dichotomy of control. Take out a notebook every morning. Draw 2 columns, what I can control, what I cannot control. List everything on your mind. Separate controllable issues from uncontrollable ones. Commit to acting only on the controllable column. Let go of the rest. Example, what I can control, what I cannot control. My effort at work market crashes. My response to criticism, others' opinions. My daily habits, traffic jams. By doing this daily, your mind becomes laser-focused on what actually matters. Real-life example, workplace stress. Consider Sarah, a marketing manager. She worries constantly about client demands, team mistakes, and her boss's mood. Her stress is through the roof. Once she started applying the dichotomy of control, she realized she cannot control the client's mood. She cannot prevent minor errors by her team. She can control her own work, preparation, and communication. The result? Less anxiety, more productivity, and greater confidence in her decisions. Real-life example, social media. We live in a world dominated by opinions. Social media magnifies stress, criticism, and comparison. Applying this Stoic habit, you cannot control how people comment or react. You can control what you post, how you respond, and how much attention you give it. Over time, your online life becomes less draining and more empowering. Exercise, letting go ritual. Try this daily letting go ritual. At the end of your day, list situations that stressed you. Ask, could I control this? If yes, write down your action plan. If no, write, I release this, and literally let go, either mentally or by crumpling the paper. This physical act reinforces the mental habit of acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, as emperor, faced wars, betrayals, and natural disasters. He couldn't control rebellions, earthquakes, or the whims of senators. What he controlled was his attitude, judgment, and choices. Even while Rome burned politically, he remained calm, decisive, and morally upright. This is the essence of Stoic mental strength, staying steady in chaos. And science and mental strength, modern psychology, confirms this principle. Research in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, shows that focusing on controllable variables reduces stress and improves mental health. By separating control from chaos, you train your brain to act efficiently and conserve emotional energy. Once you master what you can control, the next Stoic habit is about learning from every day through evening journaling. This habit builds self-awareness, reflection, and mental resilience, reinforcing the first 3 habits and creating a strong inner fortress. Habit 4. Evening journaling. Why evening journaling matters. The 4th Stoic habit is evening journaling, a practice championed by Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. Seneca once wrote to his friend Lucilius, "Every day, prepare your mind as if you are examining your own soul. Reflect upon your actions, correct your mistakes, and celebrate your successes." Evening journaling is not just writing, it's self-reflection in action. It trains your mind to recognize patterns in your behavior. Learn from mistakes without guilt. Celebrate small victories, building confidence and gratitude. By reviewing your day, you consolidate mental strength, reinforce your values, and prepare your mind for tomorrow. The science behind journaling, modern psychology, validates journaling as a mental health booster. Studies show that daily reflection reduces anxiety and stress by processing emotions, improves decision-making and self-awareness, boosts resilience by framing experiences as learning opportunities. Even 10 minutes of journaling per day can significantly increase mental clarity and emotional regulation. How to practice evening journaling. Here's a practical framework you can start tonight. Set aside 10-15 minutes before bed away from your phone. Reflect on 3 key questions. What did I do well today? What mistakes or challenges did I face? What lesson can I take from today? Write freely. Don't judge your thoughts or grammar. End with gratitude. List 1 to 3 things you are grateful for. Example entry. Win. Completed my work project ahead of schedule. Challenge. Got frustrated during a meeting. Lesson. Next time, pause and breathe before responding. Gratitude. Grateful for supportive colleagues. This reflection reinforces mental discipline and self-awareness, 2 pillars of Stoic strength. Real-life example, the professional meet David, a software developer. He often felt overwhelmed by deadlines and difficult teammates. After adopting evening journaling, he started recognizing triggers that caused frustration. He noticed recurring patterns in his procrastination. Over weeks, he implemented small changes, like taking breaks and asking for clarification instead of reacting emotionally. Within a month, his stress levels dropped, and his ability to handle challenging days improved dramatically. Modern example. The student, even students can benefit from journaling. Stress before exams. Write down what you studied, what needs improvement, and 1 lesson learned from each failure. Social pressure? Reflect on interactions, your emotions, and your responses. This habit teaches responsibility for your thoughts and actions, reinforcing Stoic mental strength daily. Marcus Aurelius often wrote at night in his meditations, asking himself, what did I do well today? Where did I fail? How can I improve tomorrow? He didn't seek perfection, he sought progress. This perspective is vital. Evening journaling is not about self-criticism. It's about growth, learning, and reinforcement of values. Exercise 7-day evening journaling challenge. Here's a simple challenge to start your journaling habit. Day 1. Write 1 win, 1 challenge, 1 lesson. Day 2. Add 1 thing you're grateful for. Day 3. Identify a negative thought and reframe it positively. Day 4. Review your actions toward your goals. Day 5. Reflect on a difficult interaction and how you responded. Day 6. Write about 1 fear and how you can overcome it. Day 7. Review the week, lessons learned, progress made, gratitude list. Consistency compounds. After a few weeks, evening journaling will feel like mental armor, protecting you from daily stresses. Habit 5. Negative visualization. Premeditatio Malorum. Why negative visualization works. The 5th Stoic habit is negative visualization. Also called Premeditatio Malorum, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." The idea is simple. Visualize possible setbacks, not to be pessimistic, but to prepare your mind. By imagining challenges before they happen, you reduce fear of the unknown. Appreciate what you already have. Strengthen your mental resilience. This habit transforms anxiety into readiness and gratitude. How to practice negative visualization. Here's a step-by-step framework you can use daily. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes at the start of your day. Choose 1 potential setback, e.g., losing a client, missing a deadline, or a personal conflict. Visualize the scenario vividly. Imagine the emotions, the challenges, and the worst-case outcome. Plan your response. Ask yourself, if this happens, how will I react calmly and wisely? End with gratitude. Appreciate what you currently have, knowing it could change tomorrow. Modern example, imagine losing your job. Visualize how you would cope, seek opportunities, and maintain your well-being. Suddenly, the fear of job insecurity shrinks, replaced with clarity and preparedness. Marcus Aurelius faced constant political upheaval, personal betrayal, and public scrutiny. Yet by practicing negative visualization, he remained calm and decisive. Seneca wrote to Lucilius, "He robs present ills of their power who has anticipated them." In essence, visualizing setbacks neutralizes fear and strengthens mental fortitude. Practical exercise, 7-day negative visualization challenge. Day 1. Visualize a minor inconvenience, missed coffee, lost keys, and how you'd respond calmly. Day 2. Visualize someone being rude to you at work. Plan your composed response. Day 3. Imagine a small financial setback. Plan how you'll manage without panic. Day 4. Picture a health-related challenge. Consider proactive steps. Day 5. Visualize a conflict with a loved one. How can you respond with patience and empathy? Day 6. Consider a professional failure. What lessons can you extract? Day 7. Combine all. Visualize your day's possible challenges in advance and act with preparedness and gratitude. Over time, your mind becomes immune to fear and challenges feel manageable rather than overwhelming. How to apply Amor Fati daily? Reframe challenges. Every difficulty is an opportunity to grow. Embrace change. Accept what life brings without resistance. Find lessons in setbacks. Loss, rejection, and failure are teachers. Celebrate small victories. Even in hardship, there is something to appreciate. Modern example, lost a promotion. Use it to focus on skill building or new opportunities. Got rejected by a client? Reframe it as a chance to improve your pitch or target better clients. Over time, Amor Fati builds unstoppable mental strength and inner peace. Entrepreneurs, athletes, and high performers unknowingly practice Amor Fati. Athletes celebrate losses as lessons for the next game. Entrepreneurs pivot after failures instead of giving up. Individuals facing health challenges focus on gratitude for what remains, not loss. By loving your fate, you stop resisting life and start mastering it mentally. Let's recap the Stoic habits for mental strength. Morning reflection. Start your day with clarity and intention. Voluntary discomfort. Train your mind to endure challenges. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. Focus on what matters, release the rest. Evening journaling. Learn from every day, reflect and grow. Negative visualization. Prepare for setbacks, reduce fear, and increase gratitude. Bonus habit. Amor Fati. Love your fate and embrace everything life brings. When practiced consistently, these habits transform your mindset. You become mentally resilient, calm under pressure, and unshakable in the face of adversity. 335 True. Call to action. If you found value in these habits, start one habit today. Implement it for 7 days and notice the shift in your mindset. Comment below, which Stoic habit will you start first? And don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, modern applications of ancient philosophy, and practical daily practices for mental strength.